and welcome to Let's Roll. You may ask yourselves, why has Right to Life Committee of New Mexico taken to the airwaves? Because in spite of our very best efforts, abortion continues to take place at a rate of 1 every 90 seconds. 1 out of every 4 women has had an abortion, which means that 1 out of every 4 men has also experienced abortion. We believe that until people understand abortion and what is taking place and why people continue to vote for candidates who are pro-choice in spite of the fact that they themselves are pro-life, we have little chance of affecting people's decisions and choices. We want to dispel the lies that have been told about pregnancy centers, abortion, candidates, party platforms, and even the role of pastors in this matter. We all have a part to play, and play it we must. Why the title, Let's Roll? Well, on 9/11, word came to Flight 93 that they were turning from Cleveland and going back to Pennsylvania. They were flying very low to avoid being detected by radar, and they're making it possible for their cell phones to work. They were being told that they were about to be killed. They had already killed the people in New York in the Twin Towers, and they had hit the Pentagon in an effort to take out the president. And Flight 93 was to take out Congress. Those men and women knew what was right. They knew that they were going to die. So they did something about it. They had integrity, character. They prayed and said, we're going to do something, so let's roll. And they did. And they saved the Congress of the United States. This is what you and I must do. Our country is under attack, and life in particular is under great attack. You and I may not be called to do what they did on that plane, yet we are called to fight for life. And so we ask ourselves, what are we going to do? Pray? Of course. Have great courage? Yes, absolutely. If the answer is yes, then let's roll. Hello and welcome to this segment of Let's Roll. Today with us, we are so excited to have Stephaine Luke, who is the Executive Director for CareNet Pregnancy Centers. We're interviewing pregnancy center directors because they're making such a big difference. So Stephaine, we're so excited that you're here. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Miss Ethel. It's such a blessing to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Stephaine, tell the world, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I won't tell you how old I am, but I will tell you, I'm from Kansas City, Missouri, and I have a story that brought me into pregnancy centers, and I started volunteering about 20 years ago at a pregnancy center, and I just love what I do, and I love that I have the ability to provide the services that I needed at the time. And I have a story I'll share with you in the future, maybe another segment.
Awesome. We can't wait for that.
Thank you.
Okay, awesome. So then tell us about your organization, and I know you became the executive director
2 years ago.
2 years ago, okay. So tell us about your organization.
Sure. So our organization is called CareNet Pregnancy Centers of Albuquerque, and we have 4 locations, one in the Northeast Heights, one in Rio Rancho, one in Moriarty, and one in Los Lunas. And we also have a medical mobile unit with an ultrasound machine that goes in front of the late-term abortion facility twice a week. So,
awesome.
Yes, and we have about 15 staff, we do have 15 staff. We have about 250 volunteers, and that's diversified throughout our locations.
So your volunteer armies, your volunteer staff,
absolutely,
correct?
they're incredible.
Okay, so wonderful. So tell us, what services do you perform or do you give to your clients at CareNet?
Thank you for asking. All of our services that we provide are at no cost, and we offer free pregnancy testing, ultrasounds, STD, STI testing. We have prenatal and parenting classes. We offer resources such as diapers, wipes, formula. We do options education, so we educate our clients on every option that they have, and we are a life-affirming alternative for our community, an alternative to abortion. But we want to provide a non-judgmental environment, and that's important to know. So even though we educate, we don't judge whatever the decision our clients make. And it's a loving, compassionate environment. We also have referrals that we can give to our clients, and one of our big one is Loveless. Loveless Hospital partners with us in a program called Labor of Love, and they allow for us to refer clients to them. They get them set up with insurance and really getting that prenatal care that they need, along with what we can offer for our community too.
Okay, wonderful. Sounds like you're going to provide necessary items for them, especially if they're in a, what you would call a unplanned pregnancy.
Sure.
Yeah,
yes.
well, I hate to call it crisis because it isn't always a crisis.
No.
Sometimes, yes, it is, but.
And that's what we want to do, is help it to not be a crisis.
Okay, so you mentioned options counseling. What is that? What does that tell us?
Sure. So options education really explains what their options are in a way that they may not get elsewhere, such as with an abortion provider. So they're going to understand what abortion really is, what the procedure is, if it's surgical, medical, whatever that looks like, particularly however far along they are in their gestational period, and they will hear about also adoption, if that's an option that they're considering too. So we will educate them on everything so that they can make an informed decision.
Okay. So then you do cover abortion.
We do explain abortion.
Okay. But do you refer for abortion or perform abortions?
We don't. We do not. And again, if somebody decides to have an abortion, we are not going to judge them. We have a lot of clients who have chosen abortion, but they come back because they feel safe with us.
Okay. Okay. Great. So why would a young girl or lady go to you if they discovered that they were pregnant?
Well, they will, most of the time they come because they want a pregnancy test that's at no cost. So we offer those free pregnancy testing and ultrasound too, to make sure, that they're safe, and then we refer them to a doctor. So we want them to have we want them to know that they have a safe environment to come to that's confidential. So if they're coming to us, they also might want just an STD or an STI test. So we do offer that. We also offer something, we're only one of 2 places in New Mexico that offer an abortion pill reversal.
Oh,
so
wonderful. Tell us about that.
Okay, so if they take the abortion pill, there's 2 pills. The first pill, within 24 hours, if they change their mind, they can take the abortion pill reversal. We prescribe that at our clinics. And so, and then that has a 60% approximately chance of the baby surviving if they take that. So it's incredible. We have some stories.
Oh, dear, awesome. So
yes.
you have saved some babies.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, great. I can't wait to hear those later.
Yes,
So tell me, we also know a lot about Planned Parenthood, the abortion giant.
Yes.
So what makes you different from Planned Parenthood?
Oh goodness, a lot of things.
Everything.
Yes, like everything. Well, first of all, we charge nothing for our clients. They're nothing. Everything is free.
Do they charge?
Planned Parenthood not only charges, they get our tax dollars, and they have fundraisers, so they get a lot of money.
Okay.
And we don't get any government funding. We are only supported by individuals and churches or businesses, and so no grant money. And also we're different because we do educate on all options. And I say that as someone who has been a recipient of. I've gone to Planned Parenthood when I was younger. Again, I have a story, and so I wasn't educated on what abortion was, or what was going on in my womb, and so we're going to educate, and those are the 2 main ones. There's a lot more, but
okay. So you mentioned our tax dollars.
Yes.
Do you mean to tell me that you and I are paying for those abortions?
Yes, and sadly, we don't really have a choice. I mean, we can vote, but yes, our tax dollars are going to provide for abortions for Planned Parenthood on top of what they already charge clients.
Okay. All right. So again, it's been told that you force women to choose life, and that you also push religion on them?
That is not true.
Okay, so tell us about that.
Okay, again, you know, CareNet has a very professional umbrella that we are part of. So there is a CareNet National that we're an affiliate of, and they provide our training resources. And so everything is very practical. It's not emotional based. It's, you know, these are your options, and we don't use scare tactics. I'm trying to remember your complete question. I'm sorry.
Okay, whether you force them.
No, we don't force.
Yeah.
No. So we just educate them and we let them make that decision. We of course want to encourage them to keep their babies, but we will never make them feel like they have to. And also same with religion. I mean, we want to share the hope. I mean, we want to reach the family as a whole. So we want to share the hope that we have in Christ, but everything's permission based. Even if we want to share about abortion, we ask them, we do want to share about abortion, but even when we do, we ask them for permission. So, and if they say no, we respect that. So,
okay. All right. So you do. All right. That's great to know that you don't force even that down their throat. So,
that's right.
Okay. So 1 in 4 women have an abortion. So what's the impact of abortion on women?
Oh goodness, it's awful. It's as someone who has experienced it, and again, I'll share my story another time, but I've provided post-abortion support for many years for women, and the impact, the first thing I think is just an overall self, almost denial. There's a denial, and then I've seen suicidal tendencies. I've seen drug and alcohol abuse, but a lot of times I've seen women, they just self-punish, or they might say, well, I know God's forgiven me, but I can't forgive myself. And so there is long life effects of it. It can last for their entire life, and even if they've gone through the forgiveness process, it's still a regret. Abortion doesn't answer, it doesn't give a cure to whatever our concern is, whether it's if we're in a financial situation or if we're concerned about judgment from others. It's not a solution. It's just another negative impact in our life, and it affects you for the rest of your life.
So in other words, it doesn't fix the problem you're trying to fix?
Exactly.
Okay, so you can still go to school, or either way, right? So but it doesn't change the situation. Is that correct?
That's right. It just compounds it.
Okay. So what about men? What about the role of men in abortion? How important is a man to that abortion decision?
Good question. He is very important in the decision-making process. So if a man supports a woman in keeping her baby, she most likely will. And so a huge impact. I don't have that statistic with me right now, but how it affects men, men struggle through an abortion too. And we do have a post-abortive support resource through CareNet for our centers if someone has had an abortion for women. Right now we're working on a men's program. So if there are men who have had an abortion, we would want them to call us too, and we're looking into setting up that. But it does affect men, but they do have an impact. I know society says, it's a woman's choice, but it affects men just as much. They're a part in making the baby, so yes.
Yeah. So they have a huge part to play as far as
absolutely.
That goes. So what else would you tell if there was a woman considering abortion? What would you say to her?
Well, first of all, I would let her know that she is valuable. And that she is precious, and I want to hear her story. Everyone has a unique story, and I want to know why she wants to have an abortion. Okay. And I want to talk with her about that. I want to walk through that with her, and then I want to let her know, there are other options. Again, without judgment. And we want to hold her hand through the process, and the whole process, the prenatal part, and coming in and just learning about her baby if she decides to keep her baby, and also as she is parenting, what resources we have, like I said, the parenting and diapers, wipes, formula, clothes. We get a ton of donations from the community, so we want to provide the whole way through. So it's not like we're just saying, no, don't do it, and then that's it. But we say, this is the better choice. And we want to be here for you, but we want to be here for you no matter what you choose. But we want to help you in that process if you do keep your little one.
Well, Stephanie, thank you so much. We are out of time. We could sit here for hours to discuss this, but
Thank you.
we're going to have to bring you back on another segment.
Okay, thank you, Ethel.
Thank you so much for being with us on this segment of Let's Roll. We'll see you next time. Hello and welcome to Let's Roll on our new segment. And with me I have my co-host,
Corinne Rios.
Corinne Rios. And so we're going to share some information. But first, we're going to tell you about our message. It is getting out and we are so excited about that. And that's our little baby here. My favorite ride is life. And these signs are going all over the state. We are everywhere that we go speak. We take them with us. People are taking them by the handfuls. And we want you to do the same thing. We want you to come by either come by our offices, and when you do, don't only just take a sign, take 2, take 3. Yeah, take 5, and take them and you can give them
Pass them out.
Pass them out. Put them in your neighbor's yard.
Get permission
Get
first.
permission first before you do that.
Don't just go put her anywhere, Ethel.
We want them everywhere. But make sure you get permission from everybody. So when you do, we also have bookmarks for you. We have pamphlets. We have
Pamphlets in Spanish as well.
Pamphlets in Spanish. And we also have our little sign in Spanish as well.
Yes.
So, and this one says, mi derecho favorito es el derecho de la vida, a la vida. So anyway, so we're really excited that we get to have them in both languages.
Yeah.
And so make sure that you come and get the signs. And if you don't remember, call us at 881-4563 so that you don't think, oh my goodness, we missed that. Remember, 505-881-4563. So.
Yes. And let everybody know where you stand on life.
Absolutely.
Right, that's
Absolutely,
important.
Yes, we're trying to create a not a culture, because culture gets lost in that, but we want to celebrate life.
Yes.
And so, as you see, pretty happy babies.
He is. I love mine when I walk in through my front door. I always see that little smiling, chubby little baby right there.
Yeah, it's fun.
Brightens my day.
Yeah, me
brightens
too.
my day. So, shall we get on to the news?
Absolutely, Corinne.
Okay, so last episode we talked about the moral outcry, which is a Supreme Court. A Supreme Court has agreed to hear an abortion case out of Mississippi.
Okay.
Okay, and so this program is about educating the viewers.
Correct.
So why don't we go ahead and do that? And can you share with the audience Roe versus Wade? Can you give them a little background on
Absolutely.
that Supreme Court decision?
Okay. Roe versus Wade came into being in 1973. And there was a move for depopulation or population control. They were trying to pass a bill on abortion and deem it unconstitutional. So what they did was they got basically a guinea pig, and that was Norma McCorvey. She was pregnant. This was her 3rd pregnancy. She had already released 2 of her children for adoption. And so she went to, and actually Linda Coffey, and Sarah Weddington were the 2 attorneys that wined and dined her and convinced her to lie on the stand that she had been not only raped, but brutally raped. And so that was to get sympathy from the courts and the judges. Well, she had neither been raped nor brutally raped.
Okay, so wait, let me just stop you there. So at this time, abortion was not allowed.
Legal. It was not,
okay.
Right, it's not legal.
So this gal got pregnant.
She was already pregnant.
Okay, and she didn't want the baby.
She didn't want the baby.
Okay.
And so she was seeking about an abortion, but what they did is they used her basically.
Oh,
But she lied on the stand, and because of a lie from Norma McCorvey, we now have abortion.
And made it legal.
And made it legal. So the part about Roe versus Wade, it was supposed to be legal, safe, and rare. Well, all it is basically is legal, because it's hardly safe, and rare. Well, 65 million children gone from the face of is hardly rare.
Yeah.
So it's totally gone, and in our state, unfortunately, we allow abortion up to the day of delivery. You can either deliver your child or abort your child. So that was the end result of Roe versus Wade. And that's now happening not just here, but a couple of other states.
And it was based on a lie.
Based on a lie.
And then what's happened with this lady since then?
Oh, well, she has passed away, but in the middle of that, she did become a Christian, and she recanted. She said that she had lied and that she had been lied to because they told her they were going to help her get an abortion, and she didn't. She ended up having the third.
She did?
She did have the third child and released that child for adoption as well. So she has since passed. She passed about a year or two ago.
Okay. And what has she said about that whole experience? I mean, like...
She said that she lied. She was basically... manipulated into the situation.
And so now she's an advocate now, or she was before she passed, for life, correct?
She was an advocate for life.
So now that decision made abortion legal in all 50 states.
In all 50 states.
Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so individual states now, like the one we learned about last episode, Lubbock passed a sanctuary bill for the unborn.
Correct.
Correct?
Correct.
So now it's a federal law that made abortion legal. Mississippi, there is a case right now that they want to pass a law that prohibits abortion after 15 weeks. Am I correct?
Yes.
But it's going to be heard by the Supreme Court. And what ramifications is in that if the Supreme Court says that it's okay for Mississippi to have a law?
Well, whenever the Supreme Court gets involved, then it sets a precedent. And once a precedent is set, just like Roe v. Wade, it set a precedent. And so abortion became the law of the land. But when they allow every state to individually do just what Mississippi's wanting to do, then it sets a precedent. And it allows every state, which will in turn allow even New Mexico, whose bill has just been signed by our governor, that we can have abortion to the day of delivery.
Wait, say that again for our viewers in case they missed that. What's the law here in New Mexico?
In New Mexico, the governor just signed the bill that makes Roe v. Wade the law of the land. It used to be, just so people understand, that the 1969 law that they just did away with said that if an abortion was to take place, it was to be in a hospital with doctors, and it would be only for incest and rape and the life of the mother.
So that was a law in 1969.
And they have just abolished that.
Okay.
And they said that now you may have an abortion in our state for any reason. It does not have to be for medical reasons, life of the mother, anything, if it's just inconvenient for you. And you can have that abortion up to the day of delivery.
And how early can you have an abortion?
Oh, you can have an abortion.
Without parental consent?
Oh,
do you know?
12 years old, like a child. They can take your child to, the nurses at the school can take your child to have an abortion without your knowledge or consent. The worst part about this is that if something happens medically or the child comes into some kind of trouble and there's a hospital bill, guess who gets to pay that? The parents do. But they cannot be notified. They can if the child would allow it. But they're saying they actually are coaching the kids. It's really sad.
Yes.
That they're taking our kids and they're teaching them to be dishonest with their parents, the separating of the family.
Right. And so as a parent, if I have my child in a public school, I have to give permission to give them an aspirin.
Correct.
But somebody from the school or somebody else, a friend, can take this 12-year-old to go get an abortion without parental consent.
Correct. So if the child was raped and the perpetrator, of course, doesn't want to be found out, that person can take that child for an abortion without your knowledge or consent. And that child could either survive, not, or just be whatever it is that would happen to that child. There's a lot of potential damage there.
Yeah. Okay, so the Supreme Court, they're going to hear that the Mississippi case this fall, I believe. Is that correct?
I believe so, yes.
It's in this fall. So they are doing it's called the moral outcry, that they're trying to raise signatures.
1 million?
1 million signatures, and I think they're on 506,000.
No, yeah.
So we still got some more people that we need to get over there and sign. Have you done that yet?
I have, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. And so you can go online and do that.
Yes, moraloutcry.com. Themoraloutcry.com.
Okay. And if you forget what that is, call us at 505-881-4563 because we will get you that information. So, but please sign that. They need those petitions.
Yes, and some churches actually are making an announcement at their church to get their congregations to go and sign the petition. Because when Christians value life, and we know we're supposed to value life, right? Because that's what we're taught.
Right.
We can cause a revolution with just going and signing the petition. So if your pastor hasn't made an announcement, ask them to do that.
Right.
Ask them to. That's okay to do that, right,
It's
Ethel?
simple. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, life is one of the top 10. You know, made God's top 10. So it is important. It is important that they would ask that the church would sign those petitions for themoralitecray.com.
Yeah. And if your pastor won't, for whatever reason,
just call us.
you can do it, right?
Yeah,
You can tell people about the moral outcry and ask them to sign up for the petition.
Absolutely.
So, do you have anything else that you want to add to the ramifications of? It might open the door for.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it gives power back to the states, and it stops the federal overreach. And everything that they've tried to do in the past administration is to defund Planned Parenthood and quit forcing you and I as taxpayers to pay for abortion and protect our women, our daughters, our doctors, because doctors will now be forced to perform abortions.
And there's no conscientious objections. Was that taken away, or
Excuse
care.
me. No, they don't care. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I didn't mean to like it. But I participated in the session and it was rough.
Yeah.
And doctors are leaving our state. We can't afford that. We can't afford that. And you know what? Even more than that, it's not right to violate someone's conscience like that.
Exactly.
And so we should not be forced to pay for abortions. And we
also pay for abortions around the world, I understand, because we give a lot of money,
that's right,
your money, our money, to other countries for Planned Parenthood.
Right, exactly. So in New Mexico, we're going to make a difference. We're going to stop that practice from happening. So whatever it takes, we're going to see to it that we're going to get that done.
So let's make our voices heard.
Let's make our voices heard.
Sign the petition. Tell people about everything that you know, and pray.
And pray.
And pray.
And so, thank you for joining us on this segment of Let's Roll. I want to encourage all of you out there. In 2019, we as New Mexicans got together and we made the phones ring at the Capitol. And we got together and there were hundreds and there were thousands of us, and we together as New Mexicans defeated the radical abortion bill HB 51 as well as HB 90, the assisted suicide bill. And so we all need to do the same thing. I know it was a couple of years ago, but when we get together, we can accomplish great things. We are going to continue to save lives if we have to do it one at a time. So if you like what you have seen here, we ask that you come alongside us and donate to our cause, because we are donor supported and we appreciate each and every one of you and everything that you're doing for the cause of life. So please come and join us and let's roll.